the unseen Philippines. Every year, the Philippines is struck by some of the most powerful storms on Earth. Entire coastlines disappear beneath raging waves. Mountains collapse without warning, and communities are forced to rebuild again and again. Yet beyond the destruction shown in the headlines lies another Philippines, remote, breathtaking, and far more dangerous than most people imagine. Hidden deep within its jungles, volcanic islands, jagged coastlines, and isolated mountain ranges are places where nature still rules without mercy. Towering cliffs plunge into violent seas, emerald rivers vanish beneath the earth, and villages survive beneath the shadow of active volcanoes. This is the unseen Philippines, a land shaped by fire, water, and relentless storms, where every journey leads deeper into the raw and untamed power of nature. Bangri Wind Project, Bangui Bay. Bangri pioneered in Southeast Asia when it began operating from 2005 as the region's first commercial wind power project, aiming for energy self-sufficiency for a province far from the central power grid. 20 original turbines line up along the nearly 6-mile-long shoreline of Bangui Bay, forming a steel wall directly facing the surging South China Sea. Each tower stands 230 feet tall, equivalent to a 2-3-story building, carrying 3 5-feet-long blades at its top, making people below them appear as tiny as ants. The coastline below is not white sand, but rather a layer of dark gray sediment and rough pebbles, absorbing so much heat that it can scorch bare feet. Visitors can walk for free along the gray sand beach to view the turbines up close, take pictures, and breathe in the refreshing sea air. The Navotas Fish Port. The Navotas Fish Port in the Philippines is the largest commercial fishing port in the country, a massive hub where the pulse of the seafood industry operates non-stop, day and night. Covering an area of approximately 117 acres, the Navotas Fish Port is considered the largest fishing port in the Philippines and the entire Southeast Asian region, serving as the nation's most crucial seafood gateway. Viewed from a distance across Manila Bay, hundreds of wooden and steel fishing boats are anchored closely together, forming a dense forest of masts that rise like a giant wall, obscuring the horizon. The Navotas Fish Port is not merely a seafood trading center, but also a place where you can directly experience the bustling, relentless rhythm of the Philippine fishing industry operating around the clock. Coron Island. Coron Island is not a tranquil white sand beach, but rather a colossal limestone mass from the Parian period, appearing a dense, charcoal black, rising sharply from the sea, with jagged and razor-sharp cliffs. Hidden deep within this structure are 13 large lakes, but humans are only permitted to access 2 of them, Kayangan and Barracuda, while the other 11 lakes remain sealed off behind sheer rock walls to to preserve their pristine state. On cliffs, hundreds of feet high, the Tagbanua people harvest swiftlet nests with their bare hands, clinging to thin rock ledges and climbing across slippery surfaces without safety ropes. The water in these lakes is not entirely fresh or seater, but rather a body of brackish water formed over millions of years as rain filtered through the limestone and mixed with ocean water from below. The island itself is not a solid mass, but a hollow geological sponge-like structure riddled with caves, sinkholes, and underground channels that continuously draw in and release water with the rhythm of the tides. Oslo, southern Cebu. Oslo, Philippines, is a small coastal town in southern Cebu, where its name is closely linked to direct encounters between humans and giant whale sharks. Along the narrow coastline, small wooden boats drift silently on the clear blue water, awaiting the moment when dark shadows, many feet long, emerge from the deep. The whale sharks, with their massive bodies and distinctive white spotted skin, glide slowly just beneath the surface, creating a spectacle that is both breathtaking and controversial. The town's livelihood directly depends on these gentle creatures, as hundreds of tourists flock daily to witness them at a breathtakingly close distance. And if you are brave enough to confront a giant of the ocean in the deep blue waters, Oslo awaits you. Kamiwin Island. Kamiwin, a tiny island located in the Bohol Sea south of the Philippines, is known as the island born of fire, a lush, tropical paradise that is actually a harsh survival laboratory where the destructive and regenerative cycle of magma shapes everything. The island rises from the ocean with 7 tall volcanic peaks, their jungle-covered summits frequently shrouded in white clouds that create a majestic and mysterious skyline when viewed from afar. Amidst the crystal-clearer waters, the enormous cross of the sunken cemetery rises as the sole vestige of the submerged burial ground, and each sunset, it casts a towering dark silhouette against a mournful sky of fiery orange and purple-pink hues. Separated from the green expanse of the main island, White Island is a dazzling white sandbar curving like a boomerang amidst turquoise waters, serving as a foreground that highlights the imposing Hibok volcano looming in the mist. In 1951, the tragedy didn't come from lava, but from a flow of superheated rock gas, 1,472 degrees F, rushing down the mountainside at speeds comparable to a commercial airplane, vaporizing every living thing in its path in mere moments. Cebu City. Cebu City, nicknamed the Queen City of the south of the Philippines, is not a fairy tale kingdom, but rather a city tightly compressed between the sea and mountains, where development and chaos collide head-on. The city is squeezed between a rusty container port and steep limestone mountains, causing homes and vehicles to pile up in a suffocating narrow strip of land. 16th century infrastructure cannot withstand current pressures, leaving traffic perpetually gridlocked in the thick, black smoke of jeepness. The line between rich and poor is starkly evident as the towering glass structures of It Park cast shadows over rusted tin-roofed shanties nestled close to the ground. And amidst it all, Fort San Pedro still stands as an ancient heritage site surrounded by commercial industry. In January, the city explodes with the Sinulog Festival, taking place on the third Sunday of the month, the largest and most vibrant event in the Philippines, honoring the child Jesus Santo Nino. Bacuag, Bacaoac. Bacuag, a small municipality nestled on the edge of Surigao del Norte province, Philippines, is a storm-prone area exposed to the ocean, directly facing some of the planet's most intense tropical cyclones. A suspension bridge about 1,150 feet long connects the mainland to a small coral island. Its slender structure constantly sways in the strong gusts from the Surigao Strait. This place experiences an average of 282 rainy days each year, leaving the ground almost always waterlogged and thick with mud. As a fifth-class municipality in the Philippines, Bacaoag sustains itself through manual labor, fishing, and subsistence farming, disconnected from urban life. Canlangungob Cave System. Can Langungob swallow an entire city without leaving a trace on the surface? This is the largest cave system in the Philippines and the second largest in all of Asia. The entrance is a dark, cavernous archway amidst the green forest, where sunlight is stopped at the rock's edge, and darkness immediately takes over. Inside, tens of thousands of ivory white, yellowish, and rust-cold stalagmites rise up, reflecting the lights like a crystal forest in the night. From the cave ceiling, formations of bronze-brown rock hang down like frozen silk curtains, dripping cold water. A silver-gray underground river winds its way through the darkness, casting a faint glow before disappearing into a hidden corner. After millions of years of silence, this place was only discovered in 1987 by an Italian explorer unveiling a pristine world. The San Juano Bridge. The San Juano Bridge, a magnificent steel band stretching across the world's narrowest strait connecting Samar and Lee, is not a poetic ribbon, but rather a colossal structure imposing itself upon the ocean. Measuring over 1 1/3 miles long, this is the longest bridge over water in the Philippines, curving like an S on the Samar side and folding into an L on the Leyte side, weaving through dangerous underwater reefs. Built in the 1970s under Ferdinand Marcos and dubbed the Bridge of Love, it was, in fact, a colossal concrete structure inextricably linked to the nation's heavy debts. The central section of the bridge features a gigantic zigzag steel truss system, where thousands of intertwining beams fragment the sky and form a steel tunnel that constricts the view. The strip of water beneath the bridge is far from calm. It is the narrow and deep Sanano Strait, where extremely strong tidal pressure creates powerful currents and enormous whirlpools. Quite Hills. Quite was once a giant coral reef deep beneath the ocean floor before tectonic plates fractured and violently rose, lifting the entire limestone platform into the air and forming hundreds of rolling hills as they appear today. Unlike the roundness of the chocolate hills in Boho, the hills here are sharp, rugged, and misshapen, like the thorny peely nuts of the Belel region. From the highest point below lies a shimmering sea of emerald Kogan grass, swaying with each gust of wind as if the ground itself were rippling. And amidst this unspoiled wonder, visitors only need to pay a few dozen pesos in environmental fees to freely traverse the unhindered maze of hills and mountains. Mayon Volcano. What makes Mayon Volcano one of the most iconic volcanoes in the Philippines, located in Albay Province on Luzon Island? Mayon is globally renowned for its nearly perfect conical shape, earning it the title of the world's most symmetrical volcano. Standing approximately 8,080 feet tall, this active stratovolcano has continuously erupted lava, ash, and hot gases for centuries. Fiery red lava flows cascading down its slopes, contrasts sharply with the lush green vegetation below, creating a scene that is both magnificent and menacing. Despite its perfect beauty, Mayon remains a dangerous geological machine, with eruptions, volcanic mud flows, and toxic gases having forced thousands of residents to evacuate from its foothills. General Santos. General Santos is located on the southern tip of Mindanao Island in the Philippines, and is not a peaceful bay for enjoying the sea breeze. This city is known as the tuna capital, the largest seafood industry hub in the entire country. Every day, offshore fishing fleets continuously arrive at the port, unloading tons of giant tuna freshly caught from the ocean. On the muddy docks, workers sort, weigh, and transfer the fish to factories at a frantic pace with no room for delay. Inside the processing areas, freezing and packaging lines operate continuously to prepare export shipments for destinations worldwide. Here, the ocean is no longer a tourist attraction, but has become a resource exploited daily to sustain an entire economy. The Chocolate Hills. Is there any place in the world where the ground swells into over 1,000 conical hills, uniform like a motionless army amidst the grassland during the wet season? The Chocolate Hills are covered in a uniform lush green. But when the dry season arrives, the grass turns dark brown, making the entire landscape look like giant chocolate drops scattered across the horizon. The hills range from about 100 to over 330 feet tall, almost identical in shape and size, creating a rare geological formation in the world. This structure formed from ancient marine limestone, uplifted and eroded over millions of years, leaving behind soft but dense conical formations. From an elevated observation deck, you can witness waves of land extending to the horizon, making the Chocolate Hills a distinctive natural symbol of the Philippines. Kalangaman Island. Kalangaman Island is a slender sandbar in the Philippine Sea, famous for its shape resembling a bird with outstretched wings in the ocean. The ocean's boundary here is divided where vibrant cyan shallow waters directly meet deep indigo depths that drop off just a few feet away. The sparse vegetation consists of small, low-lying coconut trees with twisted, dry trunks reaching straight up into the open sky, creating a feeling of isolation in the vast, windy space. The name Kangaman originates from that bird-like shape, but super typhoons like Yolanda and Ursula continuously break and reshape the sandbar's outline after each stormy season. To prevent overcrowding, the island enforces a maximum quota of 500 people per day, a strict number that can turn away anyone exceeding the limit. The Batan's Islands. What makes the Batan's Islands one of the most rugged and isolated places in the Philippines? The green grasslands do not gently slope down to the sea, but are abruptly cut off by towering hundreds of feet of dark gray limestone cliffs, plunging straight down into the churning, white, foamed ocean waters below. Against a backdrop of stormy skies and a deep blue ocean, lighthouses like Basco and Ted rise as stark red and white concrete cylinders, creating geometric landmarks that fiercely contrast with the wild natural landscape. Batanes is on the front lines, bearing the brunt of super typhoons from the Pacific Ocean, where devastation repeats like a natural cycle rather than merely a passing season of gentle breezes. On the east coast, Valugan Boulder Beach has no fine sand, but instead is a dense black basalt beach with tens of thousands of smooth, round boulders, remnants from ancient volcanic eruptions that crash thunderously against the walls of waves. The Banawi Rice Terraces. How could humans carve an entire mountainside into successive layers of rice paddies for over 2,000 years? The Banawi Rice Terraces are located in Ifugao Province, on the northern part of Luzon Island, and were hand-carved into the mountainside by the Ifugao people more than 2,000 years ago. These stone and earthen terraces hug the mountain slopes, rising to an elevation of approximately 5,000 feet above sea level and stretching along the natural curves of the terrain. An irrigation system channels water from the forests higher up to each patti, operating entirely by gravity without the need for any modern machinery. During the harvest season, the entire mountainside transforms into a brilliant golden hue, creating a vibrant scene, often called the eighth wonder of the world, amidst the Philippine highlands. Cresta de Gallo. Cresta de Gallo is not a stable island, but merely a tattered Ruiz's comb in the Cebuan Sea, where jagged, rugged rock formations protrude from a long sandbar as if bracing themselves against the waves and wind. Under the intense midday sun, the calcium sand beach is no longer softly white, but transforms into a giant reflective mirror, bouncing back dazzling light that forces people to squint and tear up and scorches all dark objects. The entire island is actually just a sand spit over half a mile long but breathtakingly narrow, where you can stand in the middle and feel the theater ready to lick your heels from both sides like a razor blade in the ocean. And here, telecommunication signals are almost non-existent. Phones immediately become useless, turning any incident like heat stroke or a poisonous jellyfish sting into a gamble for survival in a completely isolated space. The Leyte Landing Memorial. The Leyte Landing Memorial, officially known as the MacArthur Landing Memorial National Park in Paloleo Province, commemorates the Allied forces' return to the Philippines during World War II. The statues here stand up to 10 feet tall, exaggerating human forms into massive figures standing majestically in the open space, creating an overwhelming presence on the very beach once stained with the blood of battle. And though cast from tons of bronze in 2013, Super Typhoon Yolanda toppled the MacArthur statue, hurling it into the mud. A reminder that even historical symbols cannot stand firm against nature's devastating power. Tablas Island. Tablas Island is the largest island in Remblon Province, Philippines, often likened to a hidden gem for maintaining its pristine beauty. Not as crowded as Boracay, yet still boasting fine white sand beaches, majestic waterfalls, and a diverse marine ecosystem. Beneath the island's crystal-clear waters, the blue hole opens like a bottomless deep blue eye, where vibrant turquoise coral shelves are split by a dense indigo mass that swallows light after just a few feet. The winding red dirt roads become a true off-road adventure, with each turning wheel kicking up clouds of dust in a space almost entirely separated from the modern world. Visitors can also discover waterfalls hidden deep within the forests, swim in the cool waters, and feel the absolute isolation of an uncommercialized island. It is this roughness, lack of amenities, and slow pace of life that make every experience on Tablas not just a vacation, but a trial by fire for those seeking the most authentic feeling of nature. The Hinatuan Enchanted River. The Hinatuan Enchanted River in Surigao del Sur is an underground river that emerges from a deep sinkhole and flows directly into the Philippine Sea after only about 2,000 feet. The water's surface glows with a vibrant turquoise color, where the clear cyan area reveals a white gravel bottom. But just a few feet further, it abruptly deepens into a dense indigo mass that swallows the sunlight. At a depth of a few feet, fresh and salt water collide, creating a flickering halocline layer that bends and blurs all light rays as if you were looking through molten glass. Surrounding the flow are jagged, grayish-white limestone formations, honeycombed and eroded by water into countless rough, spiky edges that tear the sunlight into patchy, uneven shadows. The exposed part of the river is merely the surface manifestation of an intricate underground cave system that extends deep into the earth. A dark labyrinth whose endpoint no one has yet reached. At a depth of over 260 feet, this very labyrinth became the grave of doctor and cave diver Alonso Amores in 2014, when pressure, narrow passages, and treacherous currents trapped him forever in the darkness. Tubataha Reefs Natural Park. Tubataha Reefs Natural Park is a marine protected area recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site located in the middle of the Sulu Sea in Palawan Province, Philippines, and is considered one of the planet's top diving destinations. It is called the Heart of the Coral Triangle, a global marine biodiversity hotspot with such a dense concentration of life that scientists have to use extreme language to describe it. This entire ecosystem formed from two extinct volcanoes, creating a massive, enclosed atoll structure in the vast open sea. To protect this pristine environment, an armed ranger station is maintained 24/7 in the middle of the sea, where marine park rangers are on duty year-round to prevent all illegal fishing activities.